Man, this is taking way longer than I thought it would. 3 realizations from 11 months in, trying to move on, let go, and all that fancy words they say every time we go through these things. I'm not gonna go into much detail because it's just month 11. Just month 11. First, I'm still alive because I was pretty convinced that I was going to die. Fortunately, I did not self-destruct. I was able to find a coping mechanism that was relatively healthy and productive. Yes, of course I had my ruts. I was practically drinking every week at one point, but told myself, yeah, this is not going anywhere. Tried to turn my life around, got my values aligned, got reality checks left and right, reflected, philosophized, questioned, doubted, consulted so many people, joined communities. I basically did everything I can just so that I won't fall into a deep, dark abyss. And that's something that I'm definitely proud of. Of course, with the help of those talking head video channels that I mentioned a while ago, David Malik, definitely Fuel of Knowledge for more practical advice, and philosophical stuff like Hazel Danger, School of Life, and basically just trying to figure things out, even though I did not really get that far. I do have a sense of clarity, but I won't get full clarity. But it's better. I had to. And I don't know if this applies to everybody. That'll be my second realization, but you have to find a way to give yourself a reason to keep on going, even if the next second is painful as hell. And I'm pretty sure I've got this from Jordan Peterson, but when you're so low in life, so, there will be times when you're gonna hit rock bottom. Your standard for what's next, you have to adjust accordingly. So there came a point where I just had to bear living through the next second, the next minute, the next hour, and eventually I just have to make it through the next month of not having a girlfriend anymore. Eventually that turned into the next 3 months, and I remember creating those checkpoint videos. Every 3 months I would check in on myself and record about how I feel with regards to, for the lack of a better term, losing somebody for the first time. So I haven't really experienced these type of things. Saying goodbye is not just to the girl, but what the girl represented, which is a phase in my life, which I consider to be peak. High school was something else. I took it for granted. It is what it is. As I say in this channel multiple times, and to my friends, I hate that phrase. But I think I covered that in the lesson 6 video with the whole fighting, forcing thing. But yeah, that leads me to the second realization, wherein everybody deals with these things at their own pace, in their own ways. There's no moving on advice that will work for every breakup, because every breakup has its own circumstances and its own persons involved, and each person is unique with their own set of circumstances and their own set of beliefs, values, experiences. To me, like, moving on isn't part of my dictionary or my vocabulary. I just don't like the idea of it, let alone letting go and all that. So most breakup advice did not work for me because, well, I'm me, and I shouldn't really force other people's methods on my own circumstances. I can try. Yes, I did try. Some of them worked to some extent, but maybe the misconception I had was, okay, if I do this, maybe I'll be fine. Yeah, it doesn't really work that way. Am I fine right now? I mean, I'm generally fine. I'm doing better. I'm still there I'm still there. I don't really live life as... That canon event changed me, basically, and that change is felt constantly throughout my days. So it's not as easy to sweep it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen, because I tried. Some people found success when it comes to just pretending it never happened, or just seek out new experiences and, as sad as it may sound, replace it with something new. Those don't work for me. Again, in the same way I learned to embrace my own nature, I learned to embrace the fact that I have to figure this out on my own. I have faith in my own methods because I know myself better than anybody else, and I'm gonna see where this goes. And I'm 11 months in, and again, I'm still alive. So generally my approach is enough, at least, to keep me alive. So lastly, oh man, I actually haven't thought about it. So this is gonna be one of those moments where I actually have to think. I'm gonna pause it. This is going to sound incredibly edgy to some. This phrase has been playing in my head ever since I don't even know when. But no delusion could ever save me from the reality of losing this person. Okay? For context, delusions, wild delusions like time heist or being able to stop time or secretly being a double agent or whatever, and what else? I don't even know. I don't do it anymore. The reality that this happened and I went through that, me and her both, will outweigh any form of twisted narrative I try to come up with in order to make things lighter. Delusions have saved me multiple times, most especially during early adolescence. Man, I always say to my close friends that there are only, not really only, but the three main things that allowed me to last this long in life was anime. I swear there's a good reason for that. Delusions and the Lord. They work as a team to make sure, because they did, because look, I'm still recording this video, right? That I make it through the next day. And I just shuffle between those three and to whichever is convenient at the given problem or dilemma that I might be facing at that time. I cannot pretend that all of that didn't happen. Some people can do that, and for some reason it works for them. And like I said in the second realization, it didn't work for me, and I stopped trying. I learned to lay down on my dorm floor, just staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., just trying to absorb it all. Like, this was what? 8 months in. This was 8 months in, and I'm still that, for lack of a better term, it's still that bad. I was taking my time. Like, it was my first, alright? Cut me some slack. The realization that this is now my reality. Because, oddly enough, I would dare say that I was in the denial stage for the longest time. All the other stages of grief went first. The denial stage. That was the last stage for me for some reason. Going to admit, it still lingers on. Like, that denial that this is me right now and past me is dead. Okay, I did claim that at one of my videos. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I had to admit that it's all over. Like, I have to say it out loud to many people. It's over. This is gonna take more reflection because a year of breakup is something else and it deserves its own video. That breakup wasn't just a breakup, man. It was my entire worldview and life perspective had to be re-evaluated, and so much was going on. College, saying goodbye to the bros, betrayals, and other aspects in my life. I had my own set of circumstances. When you break up with somebody, part of you dies. I had to burn not parts of myself, like I literally had to reconstruct my entire being. That's why it took this long. I guess I'll just leave it at that for now. So again, the 3 realizations, I'm still alive, but it was there came a point where trying to be alive was like the bare minimum. It's tough, life is, again, cruel. That's alright. You have to adjust. You have to lower the standard if you have to. Expect that most breakup advice won't really work as well as you thought it would. Even from the wisest people. It's your own set of problems. So in most cases, it will require your own set of solutions that will be an amalgamation of different inspirations from other people's experiences, circumstances, and advice. There's no advice that fits all. And in general, that goes in life as well. It's your problem, therefore it will require your own solution. And lastly, taking in the reality of the situation. Not just the fact that you broke up with somebody, but everything that comes along with that fact. In my case, that meant identity crisis, existential crisis, values realignment, accepting parts of me that I have been long rejecting, admitting that my superpower was apparently my greatest weakness or worst weakness, But yes, this thing, this experience, to some extent I did expect it to be this way, but not to this extent, has changed so much about me. And again, I hate change. And that, you can see the friction there already. I had to admit that reality as well. Most people kind of skip that part. All in all, it just boils down to this. This is a good segue because I'm gonna end it here. The 3 realizations from video making, the 3 realizations in the past 19 years of my life, the 3 realizations from moving on. I feel things too deeply. Like when I want, well, not really want, but when I'm into something, I'm really in it. That is a double-edged blade. And the more I sharpen this blade, the more dangerous I become. Not in an edgy sense, but the more capable I am of doing something great, but at the same time increases the risk of me exploding. Because a lot of my habits, a lot of my superpowers and abilities, yes, they do help me, but it comes at a cost. There's always a trade-off. I don't know if this is going to be helpful to anybody, but this is for me. I'm doing this for me. Hopefully Homer from when he's 30 years old will look back at this and watch it all over from the start. I'm pretty sure you will, right? You have the patience to go through this entire video and try to reminisce, like, I was right about this, I was right about that, I was completely wrong about that one thing. But you won't be able to tell until that time comes. So I document my thoughts, and I yap. A lot of people don't have the patience for that, but I'm pretty sure I do. So I trust my future self to be able to watch through this video. And if you're not my future self, or you skip to the end, or watch this at 2 times speed, and you're just playing this in the background and doing something else or whatever, then thank you. Because again, I cannot stress it enough, these videos saved me in many ways that I can't really put into words. Maybe I should add that, like, the 3 things that allowed me to go, the 4 things that allowed me to make it this far into life: anime, delusion, content creation, or just making value in general, offering value to other people, and God, whoever is up there. Here I am. I'm 19. Happy birthday to me. Holy shit, that's that a B? Oh, thank you. Again, thank you for your time.